Shaman AA together with either Void or Naga is probably pretty good here, and Templar Assassin known as a lane dominator in that mid lane. However, if she's up against Razor, that's a nightmare lane for TA. It's the worst lane in the game.
What do you do? I mean, you
avoid it.
No damage.
You just avoid that lane. You can't play it.
The problem is, TA doesn't really excel in other laning arrangements. She uses runes well. She needs... like, she's not like the best hero to farm the jungle or anything like that, so the ideal arrangement is to put the TA mid with this draft, but they may not have that option.
We'll see. It is at the heroes looks like it is going to be a TA mid, but if I'm MVP right now and I run the Templar...
5 seconds remaining.
Templar Assassin is an awful hero at playing from behind, and she will get behind against a Razor if played correctly. And it's one of TC's best heroes, which he will be playing in this game. So, all right, let's quickly introduce the teams. I'll go over MVP. We've got in the bottom lane, or they're all 5 in the bottom lane. Great. We're gonna have Ryzen playing on the Shadow Shaman. He generally plays the hard support for them, together with Heen on the Ancient Apparition. March will indeed be playing the Naga Siren with Kyo on the Templar Assassin, and then leaves finally Forev on the Void.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, just a quick refresher, this is Game 2 of a best of 3, Liquid leading the set 1-0. The winner of this wildcard grand finals moves into the main event for the International 4. They will be the final team, the 16th team who joins the event. And, well, with that being said, Ryzen's got boots here, but so too does Way 2. He burrow strikes away just to make sure there's no range here for the Shackles. Ryzen will continue pursuit, but it is all for naught. And with that being said, I'll introduce the Radiant quickly. We've got Liquid, Koikfa handling the Ember Spirit, Way 2 on the Sand King. Might have to go back to Fountain Heroes. He's pretty low on mana. Bulba playing the Skywrath Mage. That puts TC onto the solo mid Razor, and in the offlane goes Pegasus or Demon handling the Lycan. So, Synderen, we're going to see an aggressive trialing from MVP. They will block off the big camp here. They'll block off the pole here, and looks like they are going to be running the Naga farming in the enemy safe lane. And it's going to be a solo Ember. Is this a lane that Liquid can?
The battle begins.
Oh.
This is an interesting...
Oh no, they're rotating. I was gonna say, Solo Ember is gonna have a rough time against these 3.
But still, the laning composition here for Liquid, oh, wait a second, there's gonna be an ensnare onto Way 2. He will not be able to burrow strike down here. He will make a little bit of space here and actually could get out.
They need those shackles, they just can't get a range. The Shadow Shaman, even with boots, he's just so damn slow. 335 base move speed compared to Way 2, or not base, but with the boots compared to the 350 of the Sand King. That was a close call though. You do not want to start game 2 of an elimination match down with the first blood, so, well, Liquid.
Oh, mid lane, they're putting a lot of emphasis on harassing QO here. He's taking so much damage here with Bulba just dropping an Arcane Bolt and a couple of hits. And here's the problem for MVP. I think Lycan against Void is going to slightly favor Lycan because of the Howl, and of course when he starts getting the Wolves, Forev doesn't really have... Yes, but with some good control from Pegasus, he can probably kite him around to the Wolves and just annoy him. The mid lane, Razor, will destroy TA. And I think bot lane Liquid will be able to hold their own if they rotate down the Skywrath Mage here. Skywrath, Sand King together with Ember is actually a pretty decent lane, and so is MVP's though. So maybe they just dodge and win the other 2 lanes. I think if Liquid do that, they're going to be happy.
Forev's getting aggressive top lane with the Poor Man Shield and some actually quite a bit of regen. It looks like he walked to lane with his regen and then bought the Poor Man Shield from the side shot, but Sind, he's not afraid to trade blows. At these early levels, the Lycan does struggle a bit, but as you mentioned, once the Wolves come out and level up, that's where the Lycan can start to really lane, or at least force him to ferry some regen. So, yeah, so far that lane's looking pretty good. And the
TA has the last hit.
Congratulations, QO. Refraction damage, by the way. Oh, hold that thought. Koikfa getting caught out. There's a net here, and now Koikfa forced retreat, but he gets off the steering chain. They're going to start nuking down March. I don't know if they get that kill in time. Koikfa going through the trees. March will salve up. Now it's Heen. This Skywrath Mage doing work. Boba, will he get another kill? No concussive shot available. But first blood goes the way of Liquid, and oh, they're looking good here with a 1-0 lead in the series and a 1-0 lead in game number 2 as well.
The problem that this MVP trial lane has is that they've got pretty good damage with a chilling touch, but they've got 2 ensnares. Generally, this is why we were talking about if it was the Naga Siren Shadow Shaman support duo. They kind of do the same thing to an extent with having a root but not too big damage, so if they go together in this kind of aggressive trialing, Liquid will kite them, or just maybe stay alive like Koikfa did there with the great Searing Chains, and they just get worn down over time, because the moment Chilling Touch is off, they really don't have any presence in that fight. So Liquid getting the first blood here, good rotation here from Bulba coming in at the right time, and with this trial lane for Liquid, or just if you're MVP right now, they have an aggressive trial lane that just lost a hero. It's not the end of the world. They can probably still come back in that lane. They're getting absolutely crushed mid,
and they're
the top
trading
lane's fine
even
too.
basically. A top lane. That's the only lane where they're trading evenly, and even then, Forev is only slightly ahead. He's 11-2, Lycan's 8-2, but no, I don't know.
I think they're going to have to rotate. You cannot stay content with this laning situation. You have to do something about it.
The other issue is Naga's not really the best hero to leave alone in the off lane. She needs a lot of farm to have an impact later on, and she is pretty killable at these early levels before you get the ultimate. She's tanky, yes, but mostly against physical damage from the high base armor and the stout shield. That's not going to help you against a Scarlet Mage. These arcane bolts are doing a lot of work.
So what if you do a full rotation? You
just swap completely with the
You completely... You go safe lane QO, so he can get some farm. You run the supports with him. You play Naga mid, because Naga can actually somewhat get farm against Razor with Riptide. Even if you've drained your damage, you can still do that. And Void as the off lane. He will perhaps die once, maybe twice against Sand King Skywrath. It is a little bit scary if he gets Ancient Sealed, but maybe he can be able to hold his own and get a level 6 at least. At this point, you're farming a Void, which is great. Void is a good carry, but
Void can do more with less farm than a Naga.
Game.
He can also, the Void can do more with less farm than,
exactly.
the Naga. The Naga later on as a support is fine, but if you're giving her farm priority, and she doesn't, she's an illusion-based hero, she really relies on them to have an impact, whereas Void, the setup from Chronosphere makes the Ancient Apparition more effective, potentially allows the Shadow Shaman to place his wards in a nice location, and he's just more of a teamfight specialist, so... yeah, I think along the lines of what you're saying, Void will be a difficult kill, and even if Liquid kills him, they're investing a lot. The other thing is if they rotate those supports to the safe lane, maybe they can put some pressure on mid and try to go after this Razor, who right now is just face-rolling TA. 12-8 to the 2-1. If you're just joining us, guys, we are having a temporary pause as some packet loss issues are sorted out, but should be done shortly. I'm not sure how we're having lag. We are basically on land, but
yep, we're going.
No more lag. It's been solved by the magicians of Valve, and well, with that being said, TC immediately making QO very sad.
Yeah, he's like, what do you do? This is, as I said, the worst matchup possible for TA in a one-on-one lane. I cannot imagine it being harder.
You can I wanted to ask you, but I think there's action earlier. Can you drain that refraction damage as well? Do you know?
No, you can drain more than base damage though, right? So you can keep draining down, but I mean, you could drain the amount of damage that it gives, so indirectly I guess you can say you drain the refraction damage, but you just go more in the minus on the actual damage that TA has, but you will still have 0.
Okay.
So yes.
So effectively you can.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't know, it's not really technically the, you know what I mean, it's not technically the refraction you drain, you just drain base damage into minus.
And she's still got the defensive capabilities, although with that being said...
Oh, she's gonna need it!
Here they come, Bulba with the backstab, way too. Burrow strike to follow this one up, and now they pop dust. A fresh refraction deployed, but won't last for long here. More damage stolen. QO will fall. They also force out a TP from Heen. And this is just going from bad to worse for MVP Sin. They have not made the lane rotation, and getting a great trade. The Naga's farming slightly better than Ember. The Void is even with the Lycan, but there's no clear win here anywhere on the map for Team MVP.
And they have supports that really need levels. Both AA and Shadow Shaman get so strong on level 6, but until then, I'm tempted to say that AA Shadow Shaman is also kind of a greedy support duo, just by virtue of how they absolutely need to find kills together to get the levels, or one of them needs to pull. And it hasn't happened so far. They've managed to both get level 3, which is pretty good, but it's going to take more than this. If they get their level 6 is too late, I think Liquid have already gathered a big enough lead to be able to sustain the amount of damage that MVP could put out.
Liquid are confident now. They've got level 3 on Skyrath that opens up the Ancient Seal, which gives them a little more just punching power here, I guess you could call it, against the Naga. Some additional burst damage, which, again, Naga normally very tanky because of her high base armor, and as a melee hero really gets the stout shield and benefits quite a bit from it, but it doesn't help you against the Skyrath Mage so much. Even Ember, it does primarily magical damage early on, so I'm not sure if this Naga stays alive. As soon as she's left alone, which for now she's not, they can go on her. As MVP, they'll go for an opening. Bulba immediately firing off a concussive shot. Still though, he needs more help than this. MVP, they get on the board. They find their first kill. They need it. Are they done?
Oh, whoa, oh,
they're not going for that
for that one.
And
So
they quickly reconsidered that.
This is an interesting interaction because the way Ancient Apparition generally wins the tri-lane is by using Chilling Touch to deal ridiculous damage, but that damage type is magical, so Koike can actually block it with Flame Guard. And
That's a good point.
because of that, he can stand alone against this tri-lane and maybe survive, and it's what's happening right now. Bulba is... Maybe he's going to go back down there, but Sand King hasn't been in the bottom lane for a long time. He's trying to move around, and Koike is playing with confidence because he knows it's going to happen right now. He'll put on the Flame Guard and he'll probably live.
Well, they're chasing him. They do get off the body block. Now the shackles will follow
He's
up.
killing
But he's
March!
too tanky. In fact, he's chasing.
Oh, no!
He might get 2 here. He's going to bring down March with the Flame Guard. Burns him to bits. And now can go for Heed. Oh, we almost had him. Way 2 will clean him up in the end. A timely rotation. Make it a 2-for-1. And the key thing is the Naga going down there. I believe he almost had Searing Chains coming off cooldown as well for the second one.
That was really close, and just shows how powerful Flame
The
Guard
Chilling
is in that
Touch,
kind
it
of
really
situation.
did nothing there.
I think he cast it pretty late because it was on cooldown, right when the initiation
Dire's
started.
top tower
I could be
is
wrong
under
on that, but even so, they have to burst the Flame Guard down. It's absolutely mandatory. If they don't do that, he can get away with a play like that. They have to remove it so they at least don't take the damage. Sure, they're going to have to commit a lot of magic damage to breaking it, but else is just going to get run over.
The pressure's
Now
mounting everywhere. Sin, top lane, Demon's backstabbing the creeps, and he's got level 6. They do have a Chronosphere available, but it really feels like MVP
It will
are
be used,
being
I
forced.
think.
Well, he hasn't popped his ultimate. He may try and wait this one out, hope summon the wolves, while meanwhile they do kill QO mid lane with a nice rotation from Bulba. Actually, he body blocks with the wolves, and they don't want to commit.
Dire's middle
Block the
tower
path of his
is
own
under
retreat.
attack.
That's a pretty
Now
cool
he's chilling
play.
in the trees, and
Dire's
MVP
structures
are
fortified.
they're just running around but not getting anything done. Koikva's free farming the mid lane. The Razor just got a kill on the TA with the help of Bulba, and their Lycan stays alive. In fact, Demon's at it again. He pops out of the trees. He's hunting for the creep wave. He runs him around in a long circle, and well, it seems MVP have given him up for now. And I imagine we'll just see him keep on farming their jungle and cutting the wave.
Dire's
Really good
middle
for Liquid
tower
so
is
far.
under
That's
attack.
one thing that's certain. And I'm wondering for MVP if the rotation is a little bit too late at this point. Actually, Demon's putting a lot of pressure on Heen here with the wolves.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, they do
Koikva-
bring down March on the Naga side. Clean up by Koikva and Bulba. But the wolves are single-handedly zoning out the supports. At 4 Evs, just chasing. At this point.
They don't have a way of dealing with these wolves right now. The only really significant physical damage type they have is Void with his attacks, and
By the
he
way,
has
we have
to go farm the lane.
By the way, I do want to point out, Bulba, I think, has been flawless on his ganks here. He rotated mid, got a kill on the TA with the help of the Razor. Now he rotates bottom. He gets another kill.
Radiant's
Since
top
everywhere
tower
Bulba
is
goes,
under attack.
he's just making plays. And here comes Demon, diving with the Will's top lane. He wants to finish off Heen. There are 3 heroes chasing the one, and they're not catching him.
He didn't even use ultimate. for
This
that.
is the definition of space created right
This is
here.
the definition of classic Jimmy. He loves doing this in the offlane. I think this is his favorite part about the game. Is opponents with running around trees.
It really reminds me of Ice
Tower
Ice
is
Ice
under
as well.
attack.
2 players that they always get that extra something. They're just very creative in the offlane. And willing to take extreme risks when needed to make the plays.
And
They're
he's
still at it.
certainly been
They're
doing
still
that.
at it. Just can't leave this tower. They need levels, Sind. How do they get them?
Pull, but if the Lycan Wolves keep annoying them on the pull, it's pretty damn hard.
And now they
might
just
be
send
able
up
to-
it.
Yeah,
They go in again.
I've seen
QO's
this
caught out.
before.
But there's a lot of TPs. The song comes. Counter initiation inbound. Void's on his way as well. They've got a Chrono at the ready. Perhaps Liquid will get punished for their aggression. Chrono perfectly placed, catching 2 on the outside. QO still getting caught in it though. It's only a level 1 side blaze, but yet in the end, MVP turn it, get 2. This does open up the top lane. Pegasus Demon will be pushing that in, but
That was
just
so
a
important.
pristine rotation from MVP.
Yeah, they get some much needed experience on the supports who are now both level 5 and pretty much is tied with Liquid supports as a result of that. So a really good play here. Dust is not available. I
Yeah,
think.
Way 2 has one, but not MVP.
Honestly, could have been in trouble there. He didn't have mana for the stun, but he must have checked whether they.
Well,
they
he
were
actually had it until he went in Sandstorm,
Yeah.
and then he was in trouble if they went.
Gonna come back to mid lane. Actually, we might see an opening here on QO. Oh, way too, a little bit short on the stun. I don't think they get that kill anyway. They don't have any slow to keep TA in the area, but yeah, Demon. And afterwards, he got the space back, got the tower for himself, and 60 CS, clearly the leader on the board now. It's been really impressive.
And Sin, this seems to be a recurring trend. It's like 2 games in a row now where Liquid, using the Lycan especially, just spread the map. MVP want to play clash-heavy lineups, 5-man pushing drafts, very strong teamfight lineups, and at least for now, Liquid are forcing them off their game. They're forced to rotate and respond to Liquid instead of being the ones who are aggressing. And even when they get kills, they're still giving up very important objectives. Like that tier 1 top, it makes this top lane quite dangerous to farm for, well, I mean, I guess everyone except for the Void is, hold that thought, bottom lane, March getting called out now. He will pop his mirror image and try to retreat, but the chase is on. Concussive shot inbound, not enough. And they will be forced back in the end.
It's not level 6 yet, and neither is Heen. And I think this is the most important thing right now. MVP, get your level 6s and start trying to get some ganks around the map. They don't have to play the 5-on-5 teamfight style, even though they did a really good defensive turnaround in mid. Just having Ice Blast or the Mass Serpent wards can set them up to get kills, or maybe even towers with the Shadow Shaman ultimate, of course. And it doesn't take more than a Chrono or a Song to set it up, or maybe even a Psionic Trap could be enough for them to catch up and get their abilities off. So the opportunities will definitely be there, but not until they hit their ultimate time.
Already we see Heen a few creeps away from level 6. The Shadow Shaman a bit farther off, but still has hit level 5. I think, considering how the laning stage began, they have recovered pretty well, and that teamfight mid was the crux of the recovery.
There's still 5,000 golden experience behind though, which is a really big deal, but I'm not going to count them out because of that, because they have really great turnaround potential in their lineup, and we might see it here!
Oh, those plays!
He caught the ward!
Press the D, run away.
Got it!
That's very difficult target to Chrono. They need a blink on the Shadow Shaman. I feel that's the key, is a blink on the Shadow Shaman if they actually want to kill this Ember. And with the rate he's farming Sin, it's going to be some time before he has one.
It's going to be... I don't even know if they would have killed him there if the Chrono landed, because they don't have the damage yet. With an Ice Blast, I think they get it, but...
Yeah, he's still not... He's like, what? Oh,
now
there you go. Finally cracks level 6.
Shadow Shaman will absolutely have to get lane priority somewhere. They could even solo him mid for like 2 waves to make sure he gets to level 6. It is the most important thing on the map right now. It's a trend that started, I wouldn't say, I guess about a year ago, teams started giving a lot more space to the supports on farming lanes because they acknowledge how important it is to not have a Shadow Shaman running around at level 5 at like 16 or 17 minutes, but getting those ultimates up is absolutely crucial.
Bottom tower is under attack
right now. Especially if they can avoid sacrificing towers at the same time. The bottom lane's taking a lot of damage here. Liquid actually baiting out Koikva here.
They're going for 2. They're also going on mid. They've got a double damage rune up, bottled by Demon in fact, and well, Opie sieging the tower. I don't think they can defend both. They're gonna have to sack 1. They may lose 2 for nothing. Well, for now the mid lane lives, but as soon as they leave this, it's gonna drop. Koikva, well, he's farmed now. He's got the Ring of Health online, and they're descending on mid. Sind, here we go. QO, Ryzen, potentially in a lot of trouble. Demon trying to set the trap with the wolves.
He's in a really good position.
Well, they've gone on TC, they've isolated the Razor to start this fight, but Epi comes, and they've got Blink, and he goes on for him, he burrows him, but it's too late, they don't catch him, and in the end, he time walks away. No Chronosphere available, it's still 18 seconds off, the Wolves will munch him, Demon finds one, looks for more, he'll resummon, but he gets more trapped by Horizon! Oh, not enough in the end, he just chops his way out, easily deals with him, secures the triple kill. This is without the Ember, he's still bottom.
is under attack.
Beautiful ward trap, but Demon had a DD, so he could one-shot the ward with one
just
attack.
Came right out.
If he doesn't have the DD there, he might have died from that beautiful play, but great play again by Liquid. They're really starting to take even more control of the game, and it just shows what great position they're in. The fact that even though Koikva isn't there, like you said, they still managed to take that fight, and that was also without an ideal epicenter Burrow Strike. He got stopped by the Void. Yes, he did catch out the Void, and he did get brought down, but only a one-man epicenter. They still come out ahead.
Yeah, and they didn't actually
MVP
finish off that
time
Void
right
in the
now.
end.
They really need time for the Naga. TC mid!
They get him before he pops the Static Link. Now he's been affected by the Ancient Emperor's ultimate, but it's just not enough. They lose the Shadow Shaman. Boba will drop, but the trade's here. A great 2-hero burrow coming through from Wave 2. That's going to be 3 hitting the deck. Now the tower mid in jeopardy. Not going to last for long, and although 4F will try to defend, has a Chrono, it just doesn't matter.
Radiant's bottom tower
But
is
then
under attack.
Liquid just go for your tier 2. So once again, they seize huge chunks of territory. They make their way into the jungle. Way 2 straight for the wards. He'll be plopping one either on the hill or in the region nearby.
Dire's top tower
And
is
Sind, it
under
just feels
attack.
like Liquid, everywhere they go, are getting the trades. Even if they give up a kill or 2, they get a tower.
Radiant's
MVP
bottom tower
are not
is
getting
under
anything.
attack.
And You know, the biggest thing for me,
Dire's
where's
top
the Naga
tower
been?
is
I feel
under
like this
attack.
Naga has just not done anything for them yet to get this game.
It all comes down to the way they set their lanes initially. I feel that they got figured out by Liquid and they just took advantage of it. They're gonna try to maybe get a kill up top. That's not gonna happen here. And
Radiant's bottom tower is
That'd
under
be
out.
20.
attack.
There's something here that's actually pretty rare these days. Demon just got a Midas. 15 minutes in, after Vlad's medallion. It looks like Liquid are acknowledging the fact that they're ahead in the game, and they just want to really secure their late game. I don't know, do you agree with this choice? Because he could almost have a Necro 3 at like 20 minutes.
It's
and maybe they could
dangerous,
just
isn't it?
really force things.
MVP want this to go drag on from them, but they are not very strong right now. I feel they have more to gain from a long-term game than Liquid do. So, it's risky, Sind. I guess the one thing to consider is Lycan really does benefit from the level 3
Dire's
ultimate. At that
bottom
point,
tower
it's
is under
spammable.
attack.
You have it every 40 seconds. It
It's
lasts
already 13 and a half though.
That's
The Midas is really not contributing much.
for... They've gone in top lane. They have found March. He gets off the song, but the epicenter and immolation will bring him down. He can't make his way out. Meanwhile, they also clean up the void. Both cores fall. No trade in sight. What a disaster for MVP.
Dire's
Hey,
bottom tower
I guess
is
if you're
under
getting these kills with the Midas, then why not?
Yeah, now Ryzen as well. They're dying all over the place.
Easily cleaned up. They may lose way two on the way out here. They have the detection. He just gets shot down by a meld. But the trades! The
Dire's
trades!
top tower
They get a
is
tier
under
2
attack.
bottom. There was a deny at the top tier 2, but that's 2 more towers falling. MVP are one good push away from Liquid from losing a tier 3.
Dire's middle
Control
tower
at this
is
point.
under
We're reaching
attack.
the 1,000 gold gain per minute for one team over the other. 14,000 gold lead for Liquid in a 16-minute game. And this is the point. If Demon wouldn't have gone the Midas but gone for a Necrobook, he would have Necro 3 now. I think maybe Liquid could almost push the base, but if he feels like playing the farming way is safer, he can obviously go for it. But this is not the scenario in which I was imagining him to make that choice. But we'll see if it does end up paying off. Well, I guess one thing about the Necrobooks is that it's kind of a double-edged sword against TA. It's great to have the true sight from the blue Necrobook, but if you have Refraction up, you can pretty much just kill it without... You don't take any damage then. So
And TAs
goes
almost
both
always
ways.
go BKB, which means
Yes.
eventually they don't even have to worry about having refraction up. Uh-oh. Koigva gets caught. He's not able to remnant out in time. Actually didn't have the mana for it without the stick charges, so Forev capitalizes on the opportunity. We'll find a much-needed kill.
This needs to happen a lot of times for MVP. Every time the chrono is up, they need to be hungry for kills. I think Void's job in this game right now is to create space for Naga. Void does not need to be the big carry in this game, even though he has pretty, like, they have comparable farm. But they have to realize now that March needs to get this radiance, and they need that to buy even more time. So Void has to set him up. And March, actually, speaking of which, yeah, mid lane, someone's gonna get...
QO just got incinerated. He popped the refraction in just like you mentioned in the draft. Instantly gone
March!
to the player. They're looking for more. They find March as well. And Demon's just on the prowl. Diving deep for Ryzen. He pops the medallion. He almost instantly one-shots him. Still chasing. One more right click. Secures the kill. He's diving the tier 4s. Demon just won't stop. He gets hit. The double kill secured. It does cost him his own life.
Classic
but
Jimmy dive.
Classic Jimmy, then buys back, and BOT's in mid. He's just going for the jugular already. No chrono for 50, no song for 30, and Liquid at the very least take the last outer tower.
Dire's structures are fortified.
He buys a Midas, but he just wants to end the game now anyway. Like you said, classic Jimmy.
Dire's middle tower
This
has
is
fallen.
a power demonstration from Liquid, I have to say. That when they get the early game the way they want, which they did in this game with the lanes, they're not giving MVP any space to breathe, which you could say was perhaps one of their mistakes in the previous game, was that, or not in the previous game, that was against CIS. Even though they won convincingly in game 2, they kind of gave them some space to breathe, even though they had a phenomenal laning stage where they won all 3 lanes. This time around, MVP are not getting a chance to get out of the map. They lose all 6 tier 2s. All lanes will now be farmed up by Liquid, and I think it's just a matter of time before they go for the Rosh and maybe even for the Rax at this point. Only 19 minutes in, but...
Oh no, not again. QO caught out, solo killed by Way2 with an epi. The chrono will come in and it does isolate the Sand Cave, but was it worth it? Was it really worth it? 4F tried to TP out, he can't make it away. The Mask Command is just causing him to be a glass cannon. He melts. It's a 3-for-1. They lose both cores. The Naga is alive for now, but
he isn't even close to Radiance.
he doesn't even have the relic. It's actually 1,300 gold away.
If if you're playing a carry Naga, yes, they did play an aggressive trialing, but this is around the time when you absolutely want to have your Radiance. If you're having a great game, if you're playing safe lane Naga, you could look at something like 11 to 12 minutes. In mid lane, with a great game, maybe 13 to 14. But 20 minutes without a Radiance in this kind of lineup, in this kind of draft, just goes to show that MVP didn't get the kind of game they wanted. The laning stage didn't work out. Easy Roche for Liquid. Map right now, and I don't know what you do at this point if you're MVP. The only comeback I can possibly imagine is Naga getting the Radiance, but where does she find 2,500 gold within the next 4 minutes?
And even if she does, they still have great late
That's
games.
still just a Radiance. Yeah?
This Ember has Battle Fury #1 and an Aegis. We have hardly talked about Koikfa in the past 10 minutes because his team's basically been winning the game 4v5, but the second Battle Fury's on the way, and he picks up another Perseverance. They've got a BKB to go on TC, and
yeah, the Naga illusions will just disappear to the Sleight of Fist.
yeah,
They have so good illusion clearing. Sand King, Razor.
It's not even just the Radiance, it's like perfect Naga play as well. You've got to cut the waves. The Naga won't be able to fight for at least an item, if not 2 from now.
To go in here on way 2, but quick blink out. Didn't expend the chrono though. Actually didn't have it, so.
Well,
couldn't
you
really
can't
have
miss
gone
the ones that you're not available to take. That's what they got going. Meanwhile, Way 2's ready. No Epi for 9. I think if they have it, they go there.
Ultimate popped here by TC. I think he was expecting that they wanted to commit for that, but they're gonna play it safe for now. It's not really the longest cooldown in the world. He'll have it again in another minute.
It's probably just because Way 2 didn't have Epi, so they're probably like, we should wait 5 seconds at least.
And what I would love to see from Liquid at this point is to... Oh, they do have a gem on Bulba. They need to counter ward everywhere. Just... so that this is their safe zone. This is the only place on the map that they should be able to go without the Naga illusions. And then, if that's all they get, then only Naga farms, and then it actually doesn't even matter if she gets that Radiance in the next item. She can't do it alone.
No, definitely not against Liquid's lineup. They have plenty of lockdown and plenty of late game. Well, here comes the siege. It's not really a full siege, but it's more like they're just setting up camp around the castle. Ready, but for now they say MVP, I hope you've packed away a lot of rations, because you ain't leaving anytime soon, like you were mentioning. Only the Naga illusions make their way out, and even they have to worm their way through the jungle just to go farm the small kip, which unfortunately is gone and about to be blocked. What a mess for MVP. And they've got no second chance to clean it up, so they lose this game. They're falling short, and they're not qualifying.
It's a really tough situation to be in. At least now the Relic Gold is up for March, so we're actually looking at about 1,500 for the Radiance, but I think Liquid wants to push right now. They do have the Aegis, the Lycan is on a different lane, and MVP's problem here is, if there's 4 heroes mid and a Lycan bottom, who kills the Lycan? They need 2 or 3 heroes, and at the same time their mid lane is going to get just completely destroyed. TC going for a BKB might buy MVP a little bit of time. If he had the Axe at this point, maybe they would just siege the tower, but with the BKB they can't kill him, so that's another problem. Like,
and look at the slight. That's
how do
half
they
of
kill the
Ryzen's
heroes?
health. 1 sleight of fist. Please, that's going to be the question. Now he comes through with the Searing Chains. They might be able to kill off Ryzen just with this alone. Well, he will clean him up in the end. The Plasma Field from TC does its work, and this is without even addressing the problem of Pegasus. Demon in the bottom lane just continuing to push and apply pressure. They'll look for a chrono for Ev. He's anxious now, and they'll dive. The song is available. Actually, no mana point. The chrono comes out. A nice one with the Ancient Apparition ult to follow up. It will hit the supports. Way 2 and Bulba. Actually, it missed Way 2, but it doesn't matter. Forev's getting run back to the well. The song won't affect TC. They don't even bother for the kill. They go back to clean up Ryzen. Now onto QO, and with this Razor ultimate and the immolation effect, well, the refraction's gone. They haven't yet broken racks though. Still MVP hold serve for now, but it feels only for now. Forced to use a buyback there on the Shadow Shaman and giving up kills as well. This is a really precarious situation they find themselves in.
That could not possibly have gone any better for MVP, I think, and it was still pretty close to going wrong. That's just what happens when you're 20,000 gold behind at this point. Even the perfect execution, which that almost was, they got a 2-man chrono, they got a good turnaround, and they didn't lose March, I believe, in the beginning of the fight at least. That was still really, really close to being a lost rack, so they're gonna have to do it again, and then one more time.
But they almost have Radiance. Maybe
It is
maybe
possible,
it's the tipping point.
But this is reaching almost record territory for comebacks. 20,000 gold at 24 minutes. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
The one time I ever cast a game where it happened was at Starladder Season 8, where Na'Vi came back against... who was it? It was... I think it was not Mouse Sports, but some of the team that Poss was on before that. right now. But it's happened like once that I can recall, and I personally cast
There's
several hundred games.
0? Is it that far back? I don't remember who he played on before Mouse, actually. I think he played on Team 0 at some point with Kuro, but... It must have been another team before that. Okay.
Either way, it doesn't happen very often.
It's a long time ago no matter what. We're looking at more than a year ago. Gets the Radiance. She gets a gem. I think this is a great call from MVP. Start counter-warding with the illusions and get some sort of more safety around your base. I just don't know if she can get out. Problem. All the lanes are just shoved in.
It's not even just that the hero can't get out. Like you said, the illusions. They've got to spread, Delta split, and make their move. But they're all being hunted. The Ember cleans one up instantly. The second one goes mid and is quickly dealt with by Razor, and it's only in the top lane where March even gets to see a single solitary creep.
Its decision to go for an Ag Scepter at this point. It's generally an item you see being really good when you're playing from ahead, or if you're playing the position 3 Void where you just want to set up your team. It's going to be great to have the low cooldown on Chrono, but do you think he needs more damage here? Can his team do enough damage with him going for a utility item?
They're looking to the Ancient Apparition to be the damage dealer, so I think that's the answer, is we see he can go Midas. They're playing for the late game. I don't know if it's going to work, but end of the day, I guess your Ancient Apparition has more teamfight damage potential than Void until very late game, so... I have seen it as, if we get this Ancient Apparition Ags, then we can turn it, but Ian's got a long way to go. He's got 450 gold, we can check if there's anything on the courier of the base. Not seeing any, so... Well, saying he's about 3,800 gold short of the eggs.
They'll get there. They got the Radiance before, so, I mean... And there it is, the average timing on Naga Siren. 19 minutes, and he got it at 25. And considering it's the average, then that's obviously... like, extraordinarily late. This wasn't an awful timing, but it was a really late one. So
yeah, there's been a good Naga game, you'll see it by the 15-minute mark, I would say. Assuming you get the normal utility items, things like the Appeal and the
15
bottle.
minutes, maybe 16. That's the average good game, but those were just the average games.
The only time I see it faster is when Burning just straight rushed it with boots. That was it, just boots. I think he had like a bottle and then straight into the Radiance. No Rain of Aquila, no stats items, and... Well, we normally see players like RTZ will get a few more items along the way.
Yeah, a couple of times mid, I think I've seen it around 13 minutes. RTZ being one of them, getting it really early. But yeah, it's... No matter how we look at it, it was late. So
March is not happy with this Radiance.
Yeah, this is definitely not the time he was hoping for it. But the thing that's at least going MVP's way is that we're starting to get items on TA, which we haven't really talked too much about. With the BKB Yasha and 1500 gold, some significant damage if the other hero set her up. Naga with an Ensnare and Song, Void with a very well-placed Chrono, we have to say, because else TA will just get caught in it.
If they have a bad Chrono, they just
doable.
lose. To me, they just lose the game if they have a bad Chrono. Like way to overextend and die to tier 4s. So yeah, like you said, it has to be at least hitting 2 or 3 heroes, and the Ancient Apparition absolutely must follow up over the top. Properly, that's potentially game. The other concern, Sin, is that March has the level 2 Naga Siren ultimate, and this has a 120-second cooldown. If he wastes it, they don't have that tool to defend high ground for 2 minutes, instead of the normal 60 once you get to level 16.
It's true, and he's not going to get level 16 for an eternity, because he doesn't even get experience. He's split pushing with the illusions, and of course that doesn't transform into any sort of experience gain for him inside the base.
They do get a gem. They give the Naga the gem, and maybe could do some D-warding, though I don't know if they'll be able to take advantage of it.
It's really hard to get out anywhere right now. But they do have a good defensive lineup, so let's not forget. They could potentially turn it around, but it's still Liquid gaining. If you look at the graphs right now, which is generally what we will be doing at this point, there's no kills happening. Liquid have map control. And that's with a Naga Radiance that can perhaps split push. They're still getting out farmed on them.
And remember, this isn't just... You can earn gold, but it doesn't mean it's like a permanent boost, because if it's a tower, in theory your opponents can take your tower and equalize. But these creeps that MVP missed are gone forever. You don't get another shot at those later on in the game, and, well, Liquid, not even having taken a tower in the past 10 minutes, continue, like you said, to accrue a gold lead. So this is permanent economic damage, barring a miraculous turn of events. We'll see Pegasus, Demon, go into the Roche Pit, and bring it down to half. Doesn't have to finish it off now, but MVP almost has to sack this, though I don't know if they can afford to. How do you even get into the pit?
They don't even let them D-ward one war.
Come on, throw a bone way too. Be a friend. Be a chum.
And here Roche will be going down. I think Demon was a little worried about the Naga Siren song steal, but now that she showed in the top lane, they know they can take this for free, so.
She's got the boots of travel, but still we need to see the Manta style come out, the butterfly, maybe a heart, a diffusal blade perhaps.
If she gets that, I think MVP will win the game, but.
If she gets that, that's because Liquid haven't won with the 20k
tolerance.
gold advantage. Now 25k. They get the Axe number 1 though, Sind, and Axe number 2 is maybe 5 to 8 minutes off. I would say he's at least got the Midas to work with, so it's some guaranteed gold, which is very important for a team that can't leave their base.
And he's getting level 11 now, which is actually pretty crucial. Okay, he's staying outside of XP range. He needs 1 creep.
Illusion.
How close he's to level 11 actually. That's a really important level for them right now. Getting ultimates upgraded is absolutely huge, especially the AA one. I think that's the biggest one. And he's also the only one on the team actually that isn't level 11 at this point. Shadow Shaman has managed to get it. Oh man, this
now
item,
go time.
This item lead.
They've got AC. Demons dropping the Midas. I think this might be it, Sin. We're gonna see a renewed assault. 4 mid, like in bot. But now he's got AC, so he doesn't just tickle your buildings.
And
Are they grouping up? Uh-oh. I don't know about this. They're grouping up against Chronosphere and Song. Liquid are very confident in their high ground siege. And in comes the Void. Oh, catch out 3-inch. Emperor Schultz to fly. Only connecting on TC. And that's their tankiest hero. It's the Razor. The Epi comes through. Way too. Just crushes through March. They bring down QO. Liquid are running roughshod. They find 3. They force out the buybacks. It's 4 down with a triple buyback. MVP had better clean them up. But it doesn't look like it. Rack them up and pile in. Liquid. They've killed off too many. This has got to be 6, 7 deaths, and that's it. GG. Team Liquid are going to the main event. They return for their 2nd international in the row, and sadly, MVP, they don't make it, Sin. They fall just short.
yeah, that's
Congratulations to Liquid.
the whole way. They were the best team in this playing series for sure. Seemed like they were perhaps also the most prepared team overall in terms of drafting. They seemed like they had a plan against both of their opponents. They drafted differently in this game than they did against CIS, and both times around just took really good control of the game. So looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs, of course, coming up the next days. Realistically, what do you think after watching today? Liquid are now going to go up against the 15 other teams. How would you place them in the field right now? We obviously haven't seen the other teams play, but just based on this and what you've seen recently, where do you put them?